You are watching Facts Me TV. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.
Today on Facts Me TV, D-Day is coming with an update from the Macron versus Owens case. We've got an update, my friends. We show a disgusting display of humanity portraying Charlie Kirk at a recent Turning Point USA event, and it's going to upset you. We asked the question, what is Candace Owens hiding in plain sight? And we're going to speculate about that today on the show. And we are going to beat Candace to the AI punch because we know that's what's coming up on her show today. Also on the program, Factivists, you guys asked for more numbers and today you are going to get them. And Facts Me is adding a new segment for weird news? What? All of that and more today on Facts Me. Friends, welcome to another episode of Facts Me TV. I am your host, Stephen Lancaster, and with me, as always, is said squeaky chair. That's right, my friends, you cannot have an episode of Facts Me TV without the squeaky chair and my brother from another mother, Remington, looking at me like, dude, we're at this again. We're at this again. But today we're covering a lot, guys. It is Tuesday. You know, I had my show laid out and then more stuff just got dropped on me. So my man, my women, we are going to knock out a lot today. So buckle up, sit tight, do everything you got to do. Pay attention because we're going to be covering a lot. But I want to jump first and foremost onto a little survey that, I posted about a day ago. I wanted to give it about a day to set. And as you guys are seeing on the screen, I just simply asked, what are your thoughts on the Charlie Kirk video, him announcing that Erika would take it over if something happened to him? So, you know, I asked, was it AI? You know, and then I showed you guys the video that I did disproving that it wasn't AI. But 8% of people who took this survey said, yes, it's AI. Now we can only guess who that 8% is. But 92% of you said, no way, it is not AI. That is a very large percentage. And even considering that we are very pro Charlie Kirk here and very pro TPUSA and Erika and that whole organization, there's some gray area. I mean, there's some gray area, you know, but, you know, I've watched other videos of people breaking down the was it AI? Was it not AI? You know, Artie Trolls did a great video. In fact, if you guys want to watch my video, TPUSA faking Charlie Kirk with AI, and then go watch his, you're going to see that me and Artie Trolls were pretty much on the same page. Told you I liked Artie for a good reason. I had posted my video and then I went and I watched his and I'm like, dude, we're essentially saying the same thing. So that's great. That gives it a little more validity. Now Artie kind of went into a conspiracy side of it. Not really going to comment to that because that's not my thing. You know, I try to veer away from the conspiracy talk here. But anyways, it was cool to see that Artie's video about is it or isn't it AI was really close to what I had said. So that's great. So we'll move on from that. I've got a few other surveys out there on Facebook about, who do you listen to now in the conservative realm, now that we know where Candace stands and Megyn Kelly and Tucker Carlson and these other people. And I'm going to give that a little more time because people are still responding to that. And then once I let that sit for a couple days, I'm going to bring you guys the numbers of what the masses are now claiming to be listening to versus the old guard. But let's talk about this Macron versus Owens case that's been going on now for a while. You guys are fairly up to speed on what it is. Candace Owens doing what Candace does and calling women men and blah, 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 and anything she can do to make money off of somebody else. Because let's face facts, when you break Candace Owens down, all she has ever done is make money off of somebody else. It's never really about her. It's never really her accomplishing anything to be rewarded for that accomplishment. It's just her constantly making money off of other people. So coming up, my friends, we have on June 22nd, we are looking at, this is going to be, unless something just crazy happens that day. June 22nd is the day the judge is going to decide whether the Macron versus Owens case is dismissed or not. Okay, so it's D-Day, where I don't think D is going to stand for dismissal. Now, that's just my personal opinion. I am not an attorney. Yes, I have studied legal stuff, but I'm not an attorney, guys, okay? I haven't taken the same test as Baron Coleman or Gavin Newsom or Kamala Harris, these really intelligent people who are attorneys. I've never taken that test, so, you guys be the judge. But when I ran the numbers, just off of what other attorneys have said in this situation and just general public comments, and then comparing that to similar cases, the full dismissal of the entire case, and this is something that I think needs reiterated to people. This isn't just about one thing. It isn't just about one entity. They're suing Candace Owens. They're suing Candace's company. They're suing George's company. Okay, so it's not just at Candace Owens. So even if the personal side of Candace Owens gets dismissed to where the Macrons can't sue Candace personally, that still leaves Candace Owens LLC and George's company can still be sued. Okay, so understand that. So even if this does come to a dismissal of Candace personally, that still leaves the two entities, the two business entities. And right now online, they're giving it about a 25% chance of being dismissed. That's not that good. And they're actually giving it a 70% or more, 70 to 75%, in favor that the case is going to continue on. But here's where it breaks down, guys, and I want to break this down for you. The biggest dismissal threats are personal jurisdiction. This is the card that Candace is playing. It's in Delaware, and Owens is using a statute of limitations argument. Owens argues she's a Tennessee resident, so she personally cannot be sued in the state of Delaware. And that may work. That may work. Again, that's just suing her personally. Everything she personally is worth. Okay? So here's the thing when it comes to Candace is the Macrons have a serious counter to her dismissal claims. Owens LLC and George Tom are Delaware entities. So there's nothing Candace can do about that. Owens used those entities to publish and monetize her attack on Macron. And nobody can deny that. The Macrons have pointed out that Candace they're not trying to even get the businesses dismissed off of the case. Okay, they have pointed that out. They're not contesting the jurisdiction. Candace is just trying to get her name off of it so she can't be sued personally, which will probably most likely happen. That's why people get an LLC. It makes you a limited liability company. That means that only your company can be sued, not you personally. So I would fully expect them to remove the Candace aspect of it to where her own personal finances can't be tapped. All right. Which you can cool best believe that's why Georgia's been so shady about moving money around. They've probably been moving money out of Owens LLC and George Tom out of Delaware. So when they do lose the lawsuit, it's not becoming such a hit to their finances. But this is the problem that Candace is gonna run into. Okay. Because we already all know this. None of it can be hidden now. Okay. Owens continued the claims after the lawsuit was filed. That's not good. She monetized anything with the Macrons. She sold related merchandise. She solicited donations. She repeated the claims after the lawsuit was filed, just like I said. All of which supports malice. So again, I'm not an attorney, but looking at everything that I've looked at factually, I think, if anything, Candace personally will be removed from the lawsuit, but the two companies, Candace Owens LLC and George Tom, will still be sued, and they're going to lose. That's my assessment on it when it comes to, if you want, it's an opinion, guys. It's an opinion. So Bridget's side is the stronger side, because once it shifts from can Delaware do this to Owens knowingly did all of this, it's over. It's over. And we're going to have that answer June 22nd in just a couple weeks, guys. So let's move on from that. I did want to give you an update on that. You guys were asking for more numbers. My episode yesterday, I recommend you guys check it out. We ran the numbers on how many times since September 9th of last year, Candace had said Charlie's name, Erika's name, and even her own husband's name. And it's just going to blow your mind. But you guys were asking, what about how many times she has said Jews or Jew or Israel and that kind of stuff. But, so I pulled those numbers for you guys. And as you can see, on the screen, a grand total of 2,362 times across, and that's not out of 97 episodes in that time frame. 93 of those included Jew, Jewish, Israel, or just some kind of offshoot of those labels. Okay. 2,362 times, just a little bit, pretty close to how many times she has said Erika, right? That's a lot. But I took it a step further just for the whole proving malice and proving stalking and all that stuff. Because as you guys know, a lot of the stuff that I've been gathering up is for certain people to use in lawsuits. Regardless, this is pretty interesting. 29 passages, 29 times she has directly accused Erika of wrongdoing across 18 episodes. This one's really bad. 125 conspiracy framing instances across 63 episodes. So that's 125 lies across 63 episodes. And then 5 episodes where she uses that murder kill language in close proximity to Erika's name. That's a lot, guys. That is a lot. 29 direct accusations against Erika across 18 episodes, 125 conspiracy framing instances. That's pretty wild. But guys, I want to start breaking the show up with a little more lightheartedness. So I created a new segment called Fax Me Weird News. We dig, you decide. So we're going to kick things off today with the weird news about roaches. And no, I'm not talking about Candace, even though that's kind of where all of our heads go. Yes, she, at one brief moment in time, she was the #1 fake and gay podcast, but it was very, very short-lived. But we're not talking about that today. Today we're talking about Australian cockroach kingpin caught with 100,000 illegal insects in record bug bust. Let me ask you guys something. When you woke up this morning, did you think, were you concerned at all about illegal insects or the cockroach kingpin of Australia or a record bug bust? No, this isn't satire. This really happened. Okay, and I'm gonna read some of this to you guys. Australia had a cockroach kingpin situation. Seized more than 100,000 illegal live cockroaches from a single breeder. Madagascar hissing cockroaches and dubia cockroaches. In what AP says was Australia's largest ever seizure of exotic invertebrates. Just when you think you've seen it all. You know, how many times have you said that in your, just when I thought I've seen it all, here we go, right? Now, what's even more interesting is that these 100,000 cockroaches apparently by law enforcement were valued at around $142,000. Look, why don't y'all just come to the United States, gather them all up. You can have them for free. Go make your little money on it. Because they're using the bugs to be sold for reptile food, okay? But apparently that's illegal, okay? But Australia busted that underground cockroach empire, my friends. I mean, some mornings, you guys, we wake up to politics. Other mornings, we're waking up to Australia and a 100,000 roach crime syndicate. Wow. So there is your weird news of the day right here at Facts Me TV.
All right. Can you fax me? Yeah, so she was blaming me for killing this dude. At least she thinks you exist.
I'm just glad she isn't blaming us anymore.
We're tired of people comparing her to us. People are afraid to talk to me now. This meeting is the best. There's none greater. Greatest meeting of our time, probably in all of history.
I am a robot.
Just kidding! How do you think I feel? She spelled me wrong!
So who do we think did it? He did it!
So moving on. We all know it's coming, guys. Candace canceled her show yesterday. Said it was because of jet lag and they were all tired and whatever. Okay. Well, I'm always tired and I'm here. So that shows you where her priorities are at. Regardless, we know what's coming today on her show, and her show is going to be nothing but trying to prove that the recently released video of Charlie Kirk saying that Erika Kirk would take over Turning Point USA if anything happened to him is fake. That's what she's going to do. Okay? You guys, I urge you to watch my video on that, proving that it's not AI and that it's not from the event that a lot of the candy cultists are claiming it's from. Now, if you look on the screen, you will see Candace's post pretty much setting the stage for what her show is going to be about today. She says, you guys are some of the dumbest people in the world to not consider that I have been sitting on Charlie's Aspen video for 7 months. So she is claiming she's got the full video right? But once again, grifters do as grifters do, and she's leaving the important parts out. Okay? It has been said by one of the donors that the segment we saw of Charlie bequeathing, if anything would happen to him, to Erika to take over Turning Point USA, that was filmed during a breakout session. That is the words from a donor. The donor that was there. You know, people take a break, an intermission, another session gets started up, that everybody else is not entitled to. A donor flat out said that that was filmed. A donor flat out said that that was filmed during a breakout session, but she is leaving that part out. Okay. So she is going to be, that's going to be her angle today, guys, is I have the entire footage of that. You can see it's the same background, blah, 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 blah. And nowhere in that did he say that Erika would take over if something happened to me. That is exactly the angle she's going to play, guys. And that's why we're here today, to beat this to the punch. So you guys have this information to go out there, because you know it's coming. It is coming. But it doesn't stop there, my friends. She's got the video, as you guys are seeing on the screen. This is just a little snippet that she showed on her X account, her X profile. And her whole thing, she's already putting it in her little cultist mind that she's had this. Okay, she likes to pull that a lot. I've had this for months. Yet you don't show nobody, right? I don't know. But let's look at the actual facts before you guys go and watch her episode today, or wait for me to cover it tomorrow, where she is going to try to say this is fake, this is AI, and her proof is the fact that she has the entire event. She has a copy of the entire event. That's going to be her proof. All right. But you're seeing on the screen Candace Owens challenged over claims about Charlie Kirk, the Turning Point USA successor. Now, what you are seeing on the screen, Charlie Spearing, assuming that's how you pronounce his name, responded directly to her concerns on X. He wrote, "You're right, Candace. The video is crucial, which is why I asked Turning Point USA to see it. I approached them in good faith, and they agreed." He continues, "It's real, and multiple people who were in Aspen that day remember the moment." Okay, so here's somebody who has seen it. Here's somebody confirming other people have seen it. All right, but let's keep going, guys. Let's keep going. Here's a nice little piece of an article. I'm going to read it to you. Last August, around 200 Turning Point USA donors, 200 of them, attended an exclusive retreat in Aspen, Colorado, where Charlie Kirk was reportedly asked to name his successor in the event of his death. Okay? Which claims to have had exclusive access to the video but didn't release it. They're talking about Daily Mail. Now, 200 donors. Would you put out something fake if 200 people knew something different? Does that even make any sense to you? 200 people, 200 Turning Point USA donors were there. They now know that Turning Point has released the video of Charlie saying it. Have you heard any of them come out and say, no, that didn't happen? The only person saying that is Candace, which then trickles down to all of her cult. All right? 200 people could rebuttal this, and they're not. All right? Put that in the back of your mind. This continues. A lot of my job is not always in the day-to-day details. It's very much visiting, casting, very much driving success, Charlie Kirk said when he was asked. It continues, we have a great board, and God forbid if something happens, they'll figure it out. I appoint my wife to run Turning Point USA. If something happens to me, Erika would do a great job. Which is the exact thing we have all seen Charlie say in that video. Okay, Mike Miller, as this article goes on, a longtime Turning Point USA board member, said that Charlie Kirk received death threats. And as his fame grew, the conservative activist contemplated what would become of his mission if he became unable to carry it out. That makes perfect sense. Most places do this. Most companies do this. I said, Charlie, God forbid something happens. What do you recommend we do? He said, Erika is very bright. She can handle it. We have discussed this. I would be totally comfortable with Erika running things. Now, what else do you got to hear? Okay, Candace is going to go on her show today and lie through her teeth and claim that that video is AI. She already set the stage episodes and episodes back when she was putting into her cultist minds that Turning Point was looking for Hollywood-style editors and all that. Come on, guys. She knew that they eventually were going to come out with this. So she planted the seeds early on with her following. But there you have it. You have donors, 200 of them that have not rebuked this video. You have donors who have said, yes, we heard him say it. You have other witnesses, people, board members saying this is what he said. We have seen the video of what he actually said, which affirms everything that they said he said. Candace is going to be so desperate today on her show. But that's not all. That's not, let's just hear from Candace herself. Check this out.
Actually says that they do remember Charlie mentioning Erika if, situation, something happened, that Erika would know what to do. So that seems to check out. The donor, I think, is a very good person and obviously doesn't want to be on record. But, different, I brought it up yesterday about whether or not that actually happened in Aspen, and there is a donor that does specifically remember that. So important to update that. Again, this is an open investigation. We ask questions. When we get answers, we share them.
Now, you just watched Candace months ago confirm that a donor said she was backing it. She said, okay, all right, we're correcting it. A donor said that he said it. That's her own words, guys. What's she going to do? Say that was AI on her own show? But now she's flipping her script again because that's what we know Candace does.
You are watching Facts Me TV. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more content.
Moving on from that, I have some questions, my friends. Many of you might have seen this picture. Many of you might not have. This was her pass. The little thing that says who you are, your little lanyard, gives you access to certain areas, doesn't give you access to other areas, that kind of thing. She was over in Russia and was giving a little speech, which, by the way, if you saw pictures of that, there weren't very many people in that room. They moved her to a smaller room. There was like 24 people in that room, maybe, listening to her talk. Yet the way she put it is all of Russia knew she was there, and it was just this big celebrity thing. But I was curious. She posted this image, which clearly shows her pass. But what do you guys notice? What we notice is she blacked something out. She redacted something. So I was like, what could she have possibly have redacted there? Because I've never seen a pass like this before. I don't think many of you have either. Yeah, we've seen things similar, for Comic-Cons and stuff here in the United States. But this was neat. So I was like, I want to know what she tried to hide there. She wanted to post a picture to boast herself, right, as being in Russia and being a speaker. But she purposely blocked something out. So what is there? Okay. It's a badge barcode. And those can be scanned and cloned. So that'd be one reason to redact that, right? Redacting it prevents someone from duplicating the credential to gain access. That makes sense, right? That's an innocent reason for doing that. Or it's to hide the credential tier. Or, and here's the big one, the registration trail. That follows suit to what Candace was doing. She doesn't want anybody to have access to her registration information for that event. Okay? The credential number, if cross-referenced with that event, and its registration data, it would reveal, was she there as a guest of the Russian government? Okay, this is a Kremlin-linked organized event, right? VIP and speaker credentials are issued by invitation. Okay, would it reveal that she was a guest of the Russian government? Or would it reveal that she is a paid delegate? Delegate registration costs thousands of dollars. Was she credentialed as media press? And if so, which outlet? Who paid for and sponsored her attendance? All of that information could be found out from that barcode. And that's the stuff she doesn't want people to know, because that would bring her charges. If it revealed any of the things that goes against FARA, she would be charged, right? That's why she hid that barcode. She didn't want people to know the real reason. Now, why this matters. This organization, this speaking event is not a neutral forum. It's organized by a Kremlin-controlled entity. Okay, it's used by Russia as propaganda. Having Western commentators attend legitimizes the international aspect of it, right? So, American citizens attending have legal exposure depending on their activities there. And Candace redacted that so we didn't know why. Okay? That is a mission of guilt to me. To me. If Candace Owens attended as a speaker or invited guest of the Russian government, while simultaneously running a podcast questioning the assassination investigation of a U.S. political figure, that credential tier is directly relevant to her editorial independence. That's fine. But that redaction hides exactly the piece of information that would answer that. Who brought her there and at what level? That's the stuff that can get her in trouble with our laws. And she's made sure nobody can see that.
Ladies and gentlemen, liberals and morons, from the rafters to the front row, it's time! It's the cuckoo hour. Hey! With liberal power. Whoa! This show is a smash, make checks payable in cash. It's the cuckoo hour. Hey! Where the facts aren't allowed. Yes! Welcome to the stage where losers can laugh. Cuckoo Candace, crazy all around.
Erika did it. She did it. I feel it in my gut. I'll show you proof tomorrow.
You literally said Erika did it.
I never said that. I never said that. That's not what I said. Descendants of Turning Point USA was at the Alamo in 1836. They are involved. We all know it.
You are a retard. You said Turning Point was involved.
Nope. You are confusing me with another grifter.
I don't care about your grifting.
Nope. We all know it.
You're a fan of Candace.
Can you tell me what she said that's fact?
Guys, check out my new book, Whacked Out. Ha 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 ha. It explains how I used successful white men to get famous.
This channel is a mix of facts, parody, satire, and personal opinion. If you ever need clarification on any of the material, please don't hesitate to ask.
So, now we're going to move on to what I feel is one of the most disgusting things I have seen recently. And my friends, this is absolutely going to disgust you guys as well. Okay. We all know what happened to Charlie Kirk. Sadly. Okay, this is nothing new to us. What you guys are seeing on the screen right now is an extreme leftist outside a Turning Point USA event recreating the death of Charlie Kirk. He's even got a paper mache head. Looks like he's got some kind of drink in his hand. Who knows what that is? Recreating this in the line outside of the Turning Point USA event, while people in the background are chanting things about pedophiles, you know, because that's their whole thing. Turning Point USA is protecting pedophiles. But I'm going to play this video of this guy. You can hear all the yelling in the background. I just don't understand why people would pay to be at these places just to act like this, incite violence, to show disgusting human behavior like this. But watch this video, guys, and we'll talk about it when we come back. So there you saw it, my friends, and this took place in San Antonio. This was a radical left-winger dressed as Charlie Kirk and reenacting the assassination in front of the attendees of the women's conference for Turning Point USA. They've been mocking Charlie's assassination and chanting that he deserved to die all morning outside of the event. These are Americans. These are everyday citizens who have lost their mind, out there chanting he deserved to die. A fellow American deserved to die for having a difference of an opinion. Now, would these radical left-wingers feel the same way if all of a sudden it was all turned on them? You guys deserve to die, right? Now, I'm not saying that. I'm being facetious. But let's compare apples to apples here. You're saying a man who did nothing but speak truth and open the door for a friendly and civil conversation between people with opposing views deserved to die. But what you left-wingers do, you don't? Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Guys, what do you think about this? This is absolutely disgusting. That this stuff, at what level is freedom of expression and freedom of speech? There's a fine line to walk there, guys. This is disgusting human behavior. Sure, everybody's got a right to an opinion, but these psychos, years down the road, Charlie's kids are going to see this stuff on the internet, and they don't have a care in the world about that kind of thing. It is absolutely awful, my friends. Absolutely awful that stuff like this is still taking place. And I'm sure you guys saw that there were people who bought tickets just to be in the crowd to yell slurs and stuff at Erika. What do these people, what are they out to prove? They contribute nothing to society. Nothing. There is not one thing a leftist, there's not one thing we can benefit from them, right? Not one, we cannot benefit from a leftist. Not like that. What do they contribute to society other than just hate and violence? Answer that for me, guys. It's not like they're out there saving baby seals or little puppies, right? They're just out there constantly spreading hate and mocking all that is good. These are ungodly people, my friends. And they wonder why they are disliked so much, why there are so many decent Americans that want nothing to do with these people. They're the scum of the earth. 30 years ago, if you would have told me stuff like this would happen in the future, I would have never believed you. I would have never believed you that our society would become so desensitized that this stuff has become humor to a certain group of people. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I know what I think. I just gave it to you. But we covered a lot today, guys. We crammed in a bunch of stuff. Surprisingly, stuff I added on after the fact. You know, I had my show ready right after I got off the show with you guys yesterday. I immediately started today's, working on all the content. And then when I got up this morning, I'm finding out about the great roach wrangle in Australia. And I'm finding out that Candace is coming back today to push her AI thing. You know, then I see this extreme leftists doing this outside of a Turning Point event in San Antonio. I'm like, well, I got to fit all this in. All of this has got to get put in there too. But I think I covered everything I wanted to cover today, guys. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm going to wrap this episode up on this Tuesday afternoon. Once again, I appreciate you all for being here and hanging out with me and going over all of this stuff. I want you guys to have a great remainder of the day. Of course, I'll be back tomorrow with another live. I think I'm pretty much settled on doing the lives here on YouTube at 4 p.m. I've got a Facebook audience that enjoys the lives, and I try to get those out before noon because it's an earlier crowd over there. But it's just hard finding something that works for everybody. Folks, if you have ideas for the show, segments for the show, things that you'd like me to dig into and uncover, let me know. You can reach me at canyoufaxme@gmail.com. You can leave it as comments. You can message me through Facebook. I think you guys are pretty aware of the fact that Facebook and YouTube are my two main platforms, and that's where I put all of my focus. I have left X. I'm on TikTok, and I randomly upload something there, guys. So, whoop-de-doo. Everything I upload to TikTok, I put here. So, it's no big deal. TikTok's about a step, just one little step above X, as far as I'm concerned. But with that being said, I am going to make like the Beastie Boys and kick it. I probably should have said that at the beginning of the show. Anyways, guys, have a great night. I love you all. Appreciate the support, Factivists. Keep that truth on your tongue and God in your heart. Take care, my friends.
If it hadn't been for Candace on the show, we'd have had hard proof a long time ago. Where the facts all go, nobody knows where they disappear to, down below. I know, that's all she say. Everything is fake and gay. Every week it's another rodeo. Round and round goes Candace on the go-go. Came to town with the live stream glow, talking real fast on the radio. Big dramatic pause, a scary little charts, but the timeline's falling all apart. I know, trust me, friend, and the theories twist and bend again. Everybody talking wow and rose while the evidence quietly tiptoes. If it hadn't been for Candace on the show, we solved the mystery long ago. Where the hard facts go, nobody knows. Probably hiding where the logic don't go. I know, she say all day. Everything is fake and gay. Smoke machine and dramatic glow. Here comes Candace on the go-go. She brought confusion everywhere she went. Every clip became a giant event. Followers dancing like a county fair. Meanwhile, proof just wasn't there. Big bold but certainty showed up the most. Fiddle playing, comments blazing, everybody online debating. One side yelling, show receipts, other side dancing to the beat, 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 If it hadn't been for Candace on the show, the algorithm might have moved too slow. Where the reason go, nobody knows, but the super chats continue to flow.